Yo, tip there. You know what I'm saying? Tip there. You feel me? Tip there. But we back. What's up? It's your boy Laughing at me. Looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. Getting some light so you can actually see me. I be forgetting I be turning the light off. And I'm joined, of course, with the one that all the Afro coming 765. How you doing, Tour?
Oh, you already know. Your local neighborhood scumbag here to give the folks their daily dose of dirtbag. Same gimmick, different day. Here to talk about wrestling. Lots of fun topics today.
Yeah. And of course, I'm eating because this is just a fan. That what you do. You enjoy the show. You eat crackers and popcorn. And matter of fact, I might start eating every show just so I can. I'm gonna be fat as I don't know it, but I'm gonna eat the whole show every.
You trying to get that? You trying to get that Nikocado blow up on, yo?
Yeah, gonna just sit there eat crackers every show. I'm saying.
Oh, you're not gonna move into the Taki covered ramen noodles at any point in time?
I'll get a free mukbang every Friday at the same time, 7 Eastern, right before SmackDown. You know how we do, and that's what we up to.
Or a virtual session.
But yeah, man, as y'all see in the title, WWE was the worst wrestling promotion of 2022.
That's so freaking wild, bro.
Over sin?
I'm not surprised. I've actually been waiting to hear what you had to say about it.
Over control your narrative, over NWA, over GCW, over AAA. And by the most one-sided poll I've ever seen in my life. By the way, I don't really care. It's just something for us to talk about on the day because I really don't care. But and then you're gonna have somebody in the chat like, "What are you talking about if you don't care, bro? It's content." What are you talking about? It's something to talk about. You want me to not talk about nothing? That's what you want me to talk about? Would you have we just come up, Tori? Let's come here and not speak.
I was gonna say we just put everything on mute, and you guys can just sit here and stare at us for this hour and change.
Tori smoke, I eat, and that's all you show for.
That's all you
get to see. Talking about it. I don't understand this. Like, what are you talking about if you don't care? I do a show.
Well, here's where your trusty heel comes in. I do care. Because it's so amazing to me how much credence people put into this. I mean, come on. Uncle Dave has curated a fan base that values, I said this in the group chat earlier today, he's curated a fan base that values the same aspects of wrestling that he does, which, as we know, is Joshi, late 80s, early 90s strong style, and then modern day AEW. That is what Uncle Dave likes. So that is what the Wrestling Observer newsletter fandom likes. So, I mean, you can't be surprised when Uncle Dave was one of the main, cheerleaders back in the day before AEW started. He was right there saying Cody and the Bucks and Kenny Omega were going to lead the independent scene into this new era of wrestling where there's an active competitor to WWE. Which, I mean, that is what happened, but you can't then be surprised when everything in the fucking N1 is skewed towards freaking that side. I mean, he was right there with them chanting, "Bring down the evil empire." And I mean, they still haven't brought down the evil empire, but at least now they've got a little vehicle to try and compete with it.
I don't even know if it's competing, but shout out to Tony Khan.
I said trying. I said trying to compete.
I want to shout out Tony Khan because his announcement crap seems to work.
Yeah, bro. It buffs the ratings. Like, we can't argue with it. When even whether you think it's going to be good or you think it's going to be bad, you're going to tune in to see what Tony Khan's had to say about it. Like, is he going to tell us something crazy? Or we're going to get some... He's pretty much tapped the freaking... surprise Starwell dry, like, until he works out something with WWE, which we don't see happening. I mean, we're not going to be surprised by anyone else he can bring over. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, so and it worked. As y'all see the thumbnail, I made the thumbnail real cool. I'm like, I have an announcement, and then I have Vince McMahon being back. By the way, we still on the Dave Meltzer thing. We're just going over all the aspects of it and how they ultimately hate Vince McMahon because they was disenfranchised, and then Dave then curated the hate audience that he developed. Which, by the way, had good reason. I think I always say the two things that probably hurt wrestling the most is number one, Vince McMahon, and number two, the fans.
Yeah.
And I'm not wrestling fans, by the way, but y'all wrestling fans. I always tell people if I
We
was to
take it.
write,
We take it to different extremes, especially on the internet.
yeah, I'm like one thing. This is done is true. I love wrestling fans. I can't stand Star Wars fans, but as a writer, I 100% rather write for Star Wars than I ever would write for wrestling.
Oh yeah,
And
because
the
any
reason,
backlash you get is gonna be crazy.
because in wrestling, the thing is, Star Wars fans, if I write something right, they'll just be racist and move on and then watch the next thing. And if it's decent, they'll actually like, okay, we enjoy it. Wrestling fans, the second you don't do the one thing they don't like, the one thing, Tori, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso didn't turn on Sami Zayn tonight. It's the whole thing is
Sami
meaningless now.
Zayn didn't beat Roman Reigns in Montreal. My God, what have we done?
The whole thing is meaningless now.
It's all ruined.
The whole storyline is ruined. I'm like,
3 years wasted.
like the stories,
The
Roman
fuck
Reigns
are they
stories.
talking about, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, because my thing is, I've shot WWE for sticking to the story they want to create because oftentimes they will stop and just do what fan want, and then the story is not compelling. Because I'm telling y'all, honest, got you. I think the story gonna go to SummerSlam, and that's what. Cause 3 years, it's gonna be a full 3 year story because that's when Roman Reigns basically came back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I think
SummerSlam, freaking Goldberg and The Fiend.
Yeah, so that's the reason I'm thinking it's gonna end at SummerSlam, and that's the whole story. But I think they had to. That's why I don't think Jay could even betray his son.
Because that'd be saying you think Cody would lose in freaking at WrestleMania.
He don't have to have the belt.
He's got to take one of them at least, or it's not. Oh, you think the story continues?
I think Jay turns on Roman
after he loses the belts.
No, in WrestleMania.
Oh, okay, and then
that's the only way you can tell me Jay not turning on Sammy makes sense is that he gonna end up turning on Roman, even though they even telling the story that he's gonna stick with his brother, so therefore the tag match will happen. But I think the story they're gonna tell tonight, if I'm correct, Sammy and Jay is gonna meet and he's gonna be like, "Yo, break the curse," and he like, "The only way I can break the curse is we take them belts off you and I can show you what Roman think of y'all." And then Roman gonna eat them alive when they lose the belts.
I think that might be doing too much for this audience. I think that, me personally, they could do it like that. I think that's doing too much for this audience.
Hey, that's where it looks like they're going because I see that's the only reason I see him not hitting Sammy and making it more personal. No. Because it gonna end with Jay and Roman the way it kind of started.
Or do Sammy and freaking, because Kevin's not back with Sammy. Do we get a Sammy Jay run? Could you see that tag team? I'm just trying to think of obscure stuff that's not going to happen that could happen.
I don't think it tells the story as well. I'm just saying from an artist's perspective.
I don't know. So you're saying Jay runs interference for Cody to win at WrestleMania?
I think,
and that leads into just a straight up grudge match between Jay and Roman.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
At SummerSlam, but he got to go through I think Roman's going to go away after WrestleMania he lose because he's going to have a breakdown. And you might even see it for a week or two. And then he's going to come back with vengeance against Jay. And we get to finish the story.
I don't know. I just always thought that I thought the extensive break would come after WrestleMania, but I guess if he comes to, I could see. We'll have to wait and see. Because
that's the only way you can get Sammy involved in the final
unless Vince is back in, and then we have no idea.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute, but yeah,
I know. But
you see how much we care about this storyline. That's why I wanted to bring it up. We are invested, and that's why there's no way on earth that WWE is the worst wrestling promotion in 2022.
I mean, it is if you ask the Wrestling Observer newsletter fan base. It is.
Which is probably a very minuscule part of the fan base, by the way. It's like a loud minority.
Grand total would not be that great. Probably the million at most that freaking would be the generous assumption. The million at most you can get on AEW Dynamite, bro.
I don't even know if it's that. I think it might be 250K of the one that watch
I
Rampage.
believe. I would say I believe that.
Yeah,
The ones that are dedicated, because you know the ones that are dedicated enough to watch Rampage, they watch Dynamite too.
That's what I'm saying. The 200 that watch Rampage.
Sense. That makes sense.
The 200,000 that watch Rampage is 100% one fan. Shout out to Championship Rounds. He said Sami Zayn KO tag champs. I think it happens at WrestleMania. Do it. Oh, Tori does it main event.
I think that could happen. That's originally where I thought this was going to go with Sami Zayn KO. Take the belts off of the Usos. Cody takes the belts off of freaking Roman. They're left at the end of WrestleMania with nothing, and that's just sort of that would be the trickle down. At least that's sort of how I saw it. But who knows now? Because like I said, KO doesn't forgive Sammy. Freaking Jay didn't freaking turn on Roman then, or he didn't turn on Sammy. Either way you want to look at it. So it does give you these feelings of them trying to prolong it to a certain extent. Let's just hope. I saw a couple people say, do you think they're scared to end it now? Are they afraid to close this chapter of the book now that we've come this far?
I think it might be Roman wants it to end with Jay.
Well, no. I'm talking about from the corporate side.
I don't think they. As long as Roman making them money, I don't think they care.
Yeah, but you got to think. Roman's going. I think the wrestling world in general expects Roman to take a break after this ends.
I do too, though. I think I'm interested if it'll be after SummerSlam and he can film a movie during the summer, or will it be during the spring and he filmed a movie during the spring after WrestleMania?
Yeah.
But even if you do that, you can actually have Roman off TV and then Jay versus the rest of the bloodline and trying to break them apart. Like, we can leave Roman, we can do this. And while Roman is away on his breakdown, you can just play the story up while he's gone. You know what I'm saying? That's why I thought doing it at WrestleMania, because you can play the story up while he's gone. Because you know Roman's whole story is, if I don't have these belts, I ain't him. So he could have a breakdown and leave for 3 months. And then
but that's a little bit of a risk. That's a risk though to have that long. I mean, unless you you go old school like you had with like Stone Cold, where he showed up for a whole year while he was injured. But I don't think that's the point with Roman.
You can even do vignettes while he's gone of him going crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that'd take away from it. Like Roman's got that real sense. I feel like us just getting videos of him melting down takes away from it. Like if he goes away, it needs to be like silence from his side. I feel like anyways, but they're gonna do whatever the hell they want.
Hey, listen, they convinced me when I told y'all that Cody and Sammy can't be in the same room. They made it work. So I'm like, okay, I'll give y'all got a little more.
But remember, I felt the complete opposite. I was like, these niggas need to lean on each other. I said the complete opposite.
But technically, they didn't even lean. They just had that one segment to be like, okay, you be a cheerleader. And then Roman had that amazing TikTok, by the way.
Yeah.
if y'all need
Roman did. He did. That TikTok was good. But you see what I'm saying? It worked. But that's what I said the whole time. I was like, you have to make fucking Cody cheer on Sammy. He has to. And now after this, if there's any interaction between Cody and Sammy, it has to be vice versa. It has to be Sammy cheering on Cody. I can see him using Cody to get Sammy and Kevin back together as a tag team on the same foot. I could see him doing that. That'd be a good way to give everybody TV time in the lead up to freaking WrestleMania. It could show the fracturedness inside the bloodline. It could show Cody being the outsider trying to bring two long lost best friends back together, and it all culminates with Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos at WrestleMania right before freaking Roman and Cody go at it. If they really wanted to prove they've changed their mind on tag team wrestling, you get Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos main event night 1, Cody versus Roman main event night 2. In my opinion, I think that'd be crazy.
By the way, I know if it don't happen, it's still good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I was about to say, as long as we've said many times, it would be super hard for them to mess this up any way they go because it's been such a good story.
Yeah, but I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued what they do.
Like, I mean, look the different ways we thought of just now that they could end it, and it probably will be neither of those.
And hopefully it'll still be good. If it's not good, I will call it. If they ruin
Oh
it,
yeah, I was gonna say, but it'll have to be really fucking bad. It'll have to. If they think they're gonna take us into 2024 with Roman, I might have a problem then.
Yeah.
But
yeah, maximum male models being the worst gimmick when you got the JAS out here with full 100 gauntlet matches that nobody wants to see. At least maximum models on there for 30 seconds, and I'd be laugh for 30 seconds. Thank the mental.
Yeah. But like I said, it's the Wrestling Observer news fan audience.
If you want WWE, pick Hit Row.
Yeah, that's what that would have been my pick too.
Pick Hit Row. Maximum models make me laugh. Why would you pick the one group?
But you got to think that they don't really get that much play. So the little portions that people might see, they're like, this shit looks stupid as hell. So I definitely, I'm not surprised. I see how maximum male models could be the worst gimmick. I'm not trying to argue that.
No, it's way better. But if you don't watch it, I guess you wouldn't.
No, but it could easily be thought of as the worst, especially if you got this faux hardcore wrestling fan base that the one has. Like one subscribers are either like mid-30s super wrestling hipsters or fucking the really old dudes that are just there. Did
they like the fashion police? Did they vote them as worse?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to one. I have no fucking clue, bro. I don't know.
I don't either. So it's kind of thing.
Dave Meltzer's opinion, outside of seeing which star ratings I disagree with, freaking, I don't indulge in the content.
Well, like I said, I have no clue. Speaking of, if y'all watch the thumbnail, Tony Khan has an announcement, and that Vince McMahon is back, according to a talent in WWE that we not sure if we know. But
I was gonna say, I don't know if we know who it is.
But we do. But they said Vince is back in control, which I can see, because they are saying that Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and that's 100%.
Yeah, bro. I mean, if you look at that example, there's no way you don't see that. Like,
Omos wasn't used for a year since Triple H.
I was about to say, bro, since Triple H took over, we have not seen Omos once, not one time.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I also said this. Listen, if Vince just wants one thing and Triple H be like, I'll placate to him so Vince stays out of the way, I will be perfectly fine with it.
But do we want to see Omos versus Brock Lesnar?
Listen, if it keeps Vince away from everything else, I could take a piece break.
I don't know. Tonight will make a judge of us all. Let's see how this SmackDown goes.
Tori, if the option is Vince like, I want Omos and Brock, and then he'd be like, okay.
What if he's finally said, fuck it, he's not biding his time anymore, and he's just like, nah, nigga, I'm taking back over.
I don't think Vince ain't the type to be discreet with that, though.
He's trying to sell the company, and the company shows that there's record-breaking profits when Vince is in control, even with all the money he's paying out for these allegations, allegedly.
But technically, he wasn't in creative control while this was going on.
No. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying in general, because you got to think he ain't been out for a whole year yet.
And that's when it started.
No, but you got to think they've been breaking records profit-wise.
Money in the Bank sold out in a minute.
No, I'm aware, but I'm just saying. I don't see how you're arguing this.
The stockholders already arguing. You're like, yo.
No, but you got to think at the end of the day, they really don't have a say-so. Vince McMahon still runs shit.
But I'm just saying, if they want to sue him for it.
They will not be the first. The government sued Vince McMahon, nigga.
But he wasn't under the SEC guidelines.
No, but I'm just saying, the government.
I'm just saying, you now you're under SEC guidelines.
I think you are trying. You don't want to quit watching wrestling, and we both said if Vince is back in control,
I'm 100% quitting. That's 100%.
No, I'm just saying. It sounds like you're.
I'm 100% quitting. If Vince is control, I'm 100%.
Please for the white man.
No, I'm 100%.
That's wild, bruh.
I'm 100% quitting if Vince in charge.
I'm just saying.
Hey, by the way, Tony Khan been booking a lot of rematches lately. I don't know if y'all been noticing. I'm like, hey, bro, I've seen this.
Well, I mean, it's a testament to his limited roster. He's got a bloated roster, but he's only got a few niggas that are actually TV ready, and then they don't actually go well together. They clash a lot. It's
Shout out
hard.
to Orange Cassidy and Willie Yuta. That match was incredible.
But after watching this again, it's bringing more and more credence to my thoughts. I think that Tony Khan is trying to like subtly shuffle freaking the elite to the middle of the card. He's trying to. I mean, he's like, you guys have belts. We're gonna put you on the pay-per-view. But
Why?
I mean,
Which one? What you talking about, Rant? I'm gonna let Tori. I just want to know what you were talking about. Why? If I'm quitting watching WWE. Yeah, well, Mike quit. I was Mike do if Tony Khan you get rematches and I see Bubba Ray done told us John Moxley bleed too much. If Bubba Ray telling you, hey, bro.
Bruh, we've been saying this. We've been. I have been screaming this from the mountaintop.
I'm just talking about when the dude that bleed a lot back in the days tell you bleed too much.
Yeah, but even then, no, don't do that. Because even then, the Dudleys bled at appropriate times. They weren't bleeding every fucking week on Raw.
But that's what I'm saying. Then even Mankind, Mick Foley.
If Vince is back in control, I'm done watching WWE. Ain't no ifs, ands, or not no might. I'm not watching.
Championship round. Might is if I'm stopped watching wrestling in general. Now WWE, I will be fully done. I'm not.
Yeah, no, bro. We're not going through another Vince regime. We just made it out of that shit, bro. It's been almost 4 decades.
That's like you getting used to watching some, and then all of a sudden it got better, and then you're like, oh, this is way better, and then it go back, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, and it's. I mean, I think the only time we'll be truly at peace is once they sell the WWE. Once it's out of Vince's hands that way, we can, all the fear of maybe him coming back and taking control goes out the window. But until that day.
Tell me around. Did you watch? I've been watching wrestling. Me and Tori did a show for like a year and a half. And we hated
I've been watching wrestling since a child. I've seen the good. I've seen the bad. It's been fucking 25 years at least of my memories that I remember the good of wrestling and then the horribleness that Vince took us in from 2008 up until 2018, 2019, 2021 when he finally stepped down.
But at least they're in
so much shit in those 2 decades, bro.
At least during those periods, it will have random moments of greatness. From that last run, last year run of Vince.
The end of Ruthless Aggression was the end of consistently good WWE.
But all I'm saying, but when
the PG era ended shit, bro.
But you still had like Kofi Mania in some moment.
Yeah, I didn't like Kofi Mania all like that though.
But after a while,
it was a feel good moment. Don't get me wrong. But Kofi Mania ended in 26 seconds, nigga, or less than that. It was 1 F5. He only got 1. Brock didn't even get him.
Went crazy.
I know, and that's where the spiral began.
Yeah,
that's where the real spiral began. That's where the creative black hole came, and everyone started getting fired in mass, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, he was good, but hey, listen, you can be an amazing business owner, and then you hit 85 years old and you lose your mind.
Yeah, like he's old. He's old.
And everything goes bad.
He's old and his fucking audience is young to a certain extent. Well, at least the audience he's trying to market to.
Championship round, listen, we done did this episode, but I'm going to say this. At the end, everybody was saying, all the talent was saying, Vince would forget, don't even know the names of the people on the roster. Then he would forget.
He didn't know niggas' names. How's he going to book you if he can't remember your name?
And then he forgot he had a match the week before. And then he put a rematch. So every week we got the same 5 matches, every Raw. And I'm like, I just saw this whole show.
How many times did the Street Profits wrestle against fucking the Usos?
Every week.
How many? They wrestled every week. He was like, y'all niggas gotta wrestle. That's the only tag team. Like, Street Profits, Usos, fight.
And then fire all the other tag teams.
Fire the whole division damn near.
Hey, listen, I am trying to put Vince in there. So
yes, most definitely. Yo, I have wished death on Vince McMahon before. That's how much I of wrestling. I wish death on this man because he is ruining the
I just want
product.
to put him away. Just go in the nursing
No,
home and
I
go
was
away.
like, fuck
Tori
that.
said no.
Nigga, I won't put it. Fuck that, bruh. Nigga, ruining my childhood. That's crazy.
I won't say that, but yeah, if Vince take over, I'm just saying the man is old as dirt, Jim. And
No,
he
I'm
just
saying
remember.
for a long time, I was on record saying that's how I felt about it. I was like, damn, I hope old age gets that nigga so wrestling can be good again. And then we didn't have to have that happen. All these women came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, this nigga was mad creepy. We trying to get paid. And then it was like, oh, Vince got to go. And then finally, what everybody had been saying since 2015 finally happened fucking 7-8 years later, and Triple H took over. But it was too late. We were past the golden age of black and gold. Then they tried to give us tie-dye. They tried to give us tie-dye NXT. And now they're trying to work it back, but it's still kind of bleh, in my opinion.
Well, I don't mind NXT. I like NXT because it's meant to be what it's meant to be. To put all the people on the main roster and let them play. That's the problem.
But
the average age of NXT now is literally 26 years old.
It has gotten better since 2.0.
It's because they all done developed a little bit.
But I'm saying black and gold 2015 to 2017 NXT, 2018 NXT. That was a golden age in wrestling.
That should have been the main roster.
Like that was an actual gold, bruh. That really, I mean, we waited too long. We waited too long for that.
All I'm saying, that should have been main roster, and you should have been developing. How many people we see that was supposed to be on the roster that was on the bench for 4 years? Stokely Hathaway was sitting there. Malcolm Bivens was there for 3 years and never got on TV.
Look at Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano just the end of last year made his main roster debut after running the gauntlet in NXT.
It should have been now aspects of the main roster that should have stayed, but that should have been a lot of
yes. Black and gold was better than the main roster in the years of 2015 to 2017. No ifs, ands, or buts.
But like that's my whole thing though. Like that should have been the main roster, and NXT should have all the way been in development. But Vince was hard headed and didn't want to bring it up.
Remember Adam Cole versus Ricochet when he fucking super kicked him out of the moonsault, and then hit him with the kneeling brain buster, and still kicked out of that shit. I mean, that was epic.
I can name all the people that was in that finale with Johnny Gargano and all them. Just imagine if that Pele kick happened on the main roster,
bruh. think if DIY versus FTR would have happened on the main roster or the Revival at that time.
And for anybody saying it wouldn't, all you gotta do is look at the reaction Sami Zayn getting right now,
bruh. And people forget he was the underdog of the underground. Like niggas, Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black. Gerald's got that right there. One of my favorite NXT matches. Like, bro, their whole feud.
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth.
Good.
My favorite match ever is still Johnny Gargano versus Andrade.
That was a really good one.
That was a masterpiece of a match,
bro. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
but that's why I tell you, Tori, it's unfair to just him and get something that should have been like main top thing.
Like I saw something the other day.
That's a 24-year-old.
You realize you realize how sick Johnny Gargano versus Jay White could be, bro? Think about that wrestling match.
Oh, we gotta talk about that, Tori.
Johnny Gargano versus Jay White. Oh, Elimination Chamber. I mean, Johnny Gargano showed his ass, bro. But I still love the way that fucking what's his name? His name was Jonah in New Japan. Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that we didn't just give him some hoe way to get taken out. These niggas, he had to get the triple super kick. Then everybody had to hit their finisher, and finally they got him out of there. That's the way you make a nigga look strong in defeat. Like, bruh,
come on. And then people like, oh, Seth Rollins had to help them. Oh, he must be the truth.
Exactly. That nigga took a final beat, a curb stomp, and a frog splash after taking a triple super kick to the face.
And the one we ain't mentioned is the MVP of the whole thing, because when they pretended when he did the false finish like he was hurt, the crowd went crazy for Montez Ford.
Dumb. Montez Ford. But
he did the Spider-Man tour. He called it Thomas. He's Batman of tour.
Somebody had to do it.
I'm
Somebody
like,
had to do it.
I'm like, shout out to y'all for doing spots I ain't never seen, and shout out to the
See,
women. That Liv Morgan
bruh,
sunset flip off the.
so fucking bro. I loved the way Raquel. I didn't realize how good Raquel was at selling, bruh. But I felt for her. Like when they showed you the inside the fucking chamber footage when she took the spear through the chamber, I was like, holy shit, bruh. But
By the way, people need to give Raquel credit. She's the only person that had a good match with Ronda Rousey since she's been back.
yep, that's a fact.
The only person.
But see, I agree with one in that. Most overrated wrestler was definitely Ronda Rousey.
I agree with that too, but because she finally started selling. I guess after everybody dissed her for a month after she was away, she realized I need to sell these moves.
It's so fucking.
I'm like, she finally took that DDT right, and everybody blamed Shotzi. I'm like, bro, she didn't try.
I was to say
she didn't try. But Raquel is a superstar in the future. After Indy Hartwell gonna do better. Like I always say, Indy Hartwell, Raquel, Sol Ruka, they got a good young women now.
Yeah.
Tori can't wait till old girl turn 18 to hope she picks NXT. What name?
Bro, Billy Starks is 18, but she hasn't graduated yet. She needs to. I was gonna say you made it sound crazy right there. Tori can't wait till old girl turns 18. That's wild, bro. That's a wild thing. Yeah, I was
you have to be 18 to join NXT.
Yes, I know you won't, but you paused too long. You paused too long. But no, most definitely. Because, bro, I realized how much, because I watched her get jobbed out on AEW's YouTube show a couple of times now. And I was like, oh, that's such a waste because she's so fucking good. And this is them telling her, oh, we want to build your chops, but really you just need some niggas to wrestle on the YouTube show that you don't want to sign the contracts just yet. So, whatever.
Remember, all you got to do remember Cora Jade was on there. And she's
Hey, but if by some way WWE pulls off Kota Ibushi, I think that makes the Billy Stark possibility way more. I don't know why. I just feel like that because we know Billy's a big fan of Japan. I mean, she's had some amazing matches in Stardom. Freaking, she's one of the best things to come out of the whole Joshi scene in how long?
Shout out to Mercedes. We're gonna talk. That's gonna be up there. That match here with Kyrie was insane. But
it was dope. It was yeah. I mean, it was good. It was damn good.
But yeah, basically all this we went over every topic, but one is we don't take that serious. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You notice how we even talked about one and we still didn't talk about it. That's how much we don't care. We barely.
I know what Dave Meltzer thinks about wrestling, and there's certain stuff that we agree on, and there's certain stuff we're diametrically opposed to. Like, I'm not just gonna fucking sit off and endlessly suck off the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They've done some good work, but I'm not gonna suck their dicks when they be fucking shit up.
Update on Kenny Omega. He missed time, so his contract has been extended to November.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we figured they'd probably tack on the time from where he was out injured.
Yeah. So for anybody that thought he might show up at WrestleMania, nope.
I don't think anyone ever really thought that though.
Well, there was a potential to happen, but I doubt it was happening.
Because who's the only opponent we'd really want to see fucking besides Omega versus Cody? Because it'd be like the two founders of AEW that struck out. I mean, 2024 clearly approaches. I've seen a lot of people thinking that. My bad. I wanted to ask you about this. I've seen a lot of people thinking that Bryan Danielson should beat MJF.
I don't think you. I don't know. I'm always confused because MJF always tells you like sad stories of his life and why he's a villain.
Like, bruh, the whole I don't want to be. But you've seen the research I've been going through on the whole breakup situation. At first, I'm like, she usually puts out art during the time, and then when SRS even says, yeah, we didn't want to cover it, but they broke up. So now we're all talking about they actually broke up. But now she starts putting out the paintings again. Now she's back to sell. Like, I don't know, but that's the beauty of MJF. That's what I'm saying. If he is one of the few people left in this world where we don't know what's kayfabe and what's not. Man, but Danielson shouldn't need the title. We should never say Bryan Danielson's one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. I don't think he ever needs a title. I just think he needs a different booker. Tony Khan, even though one's gonna, Tony Khan, 3rd year running that he's won Booker of the Year. Like, bruh, blow me. This is so fucking stupid. Like, no one can tell me that AEW is putting on consistently good storylines because it's a lie.
To be honest with you, I don't know a good storyline they got right now. To be honest with you, I'm sorry. You can say Danielson and MJF, but I'm like, MJF just telling stories about his life, and it's not having nothing to do with Danielson. And then Danielson knocks him out, and that'd be the whole thing. Like, I had a girlfriend named Liv, and we had a wreck, and she died. I'm a villain. I'm like, okay. That had nothing to do with Bryan Danielson.
No, she didn't die. Like,
but she got
so she got arrested instead of him.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna tell a story soon right before Revolution that somebody died. I'm pretty sure he's gonna say it. He killed somebody. You know he got to be the ultimate villain. He got to do something.
I think that's taking it a bridge too far.
I'm just saying, bro. Hey, listen. He talked about a car accident the week after.
That was wild.
I'm just saying.
I like that. I feel like Mark was probably. I don't feel like it was. I feel like behind the scenes it was tasteful, even if we looked at it crazy. But
I'm just saying.
I don't even give a damn either way. If he was just bold like that, let it be.
You know what I like about Roman Reigns as a heel, though? It's interesting. I feel like he doesn't even do heelish things. He just like the ultimate bad guy.
What?
I'm talking about he doesn't he doesn't
abuse is a very gaslighting to that degree is super
but that's
shit.
It's different than how many heels you ever seen just gaslight people and that's what they hear. Like normally they be like
Bobby the Brain Heenan, Roddy Piper, fucking the bruh.
That's a long time ago, Tori.
No, but I'm just you asked when's the last time I was telling you the last time.
When Bobby Heenan was an announcer when I was born.
Me too.
So he wasn't even gaslighting. And Roddy Piper was basically like the old man who showed up for Royal Rumble.
Don't play him like that.
He a legend. I'm talking about when I was little. He showed up at the WrestleMania thing.
He made this. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't get these bullshit talk shows like him and Brutus. Like them niggas made that in-ring talk show shit, but they actually did it really good. Roddy Piper and Brutus Beefcake they had really good.
I'm just saying, Roman does it in a way that.
But no, I was just answering your question. Yeah. Use the one that says, "When's the last time you saw somebody?"
Yeah, you asked when that before we
was
born.
You asked. I was just telling you, nigga.
I ain't disputing. I'm just saying, when was the last time before we was born? And we 30 years old. So.
Well, we said that Roman's the best of a generation. That's about a generation, wouldn't you say? A little bit more.
Most heels always try to even Paul Heyman did this week. I did your wife. He's like, no, Cody, you are great. But me and you grew up. We were friends. I loved you, Cody. That's what's so great about the Elimination Chamber. And then Sammy's wife like, he loved you. I loved him. I'm like, what kind of evil person beat up on a man? I loved it. I think Tori. If Sammy would have bled at the end of the day, I think it would have been way more.
Thank you. Oh, it would have been. I thought there were so many times I was like, just say fuck it. The fine is worth it. The fine is worth it. It would have gave it so much. But no, I popped when Roman yelled in Sammy's wife's face, I loved him. I was like, this nigga is dastardly. I was like, this nigga is crazy. Like,
I wanted this for your family.
And she played it perfectly because he loved you. I loved him. I was like, oh, well then how did we get here?
And then Tori, Tori, I wanted your family to be good forever. Like normally they be slapping their wife or talking stuff. He like, I wanted you to be good, you and your kids to have a great life. I'm like, this is the strangest hell.
I was trying to help your family. It's like as I'm just wrecking your husband.
I wanted your life to be great. I wanted you to have the best life.
He's got his foot on. He's got his foot on Sammy's neck. I wanted you to prosper. I wanted you to live. I was like, oh my Lord. It was amazing though. It was amazing though. If fans are butts.
I'm like, it's so unique that a heel would tell you to their wife, I loved your family. As he's beating down.
Bruh.
It's like such final boss gaslight evil behavior. You're like, I love your husband. I wanted him to be the greatest ever, but look what he did to me. Like, technically, you tried to make him.
He tried to split up my family. You know what I mean? You tried to make him bash in the best man at his wedding's head with a chair.
For no reason.
For no reason.
You beat him. Like, I love that fact, too, that he beat him. Like, literally, he beat Kevin Owens straight up without help in that one match. Just to set this up. You're like, hey, bro, you beat him one-on-one. You didn't even have help. Normally, we help you. You did ask me to throw a chair in, but it never got used.
I was going to say, it never got. That was such a smart move, though, because it had gotten to a point where we were actually wondering, can Roman get it done alone? And he pulled the ultimate big brain villain shit, and he was like, watch me go do it on my own and set up the reason to beat this ginger's ass. And we were just like, damn, bro, it's like that. And I mean, as we saw, it was like that.
Like, if you look at all the nuances of this rap,
it's been beautifully done. Look, my voice cracked. It was so goddamn pretty.
I'm like, it's an amazing thing. I appreciate good theater television. And that's what AEW does not do. And I'm like, and it did it the first year, Tori. It did it the first year. And I'm like, then it got me wondering, was Cody Rhodes the one booking all the crazy good stuff?
Oh, I was gonna say it did sort of. I mean, that's when if that's what Triple H was really just, he was like, and think TK just wouldn't take help from Cody that whole time. We could have been having Dynamite's booked like Raw and SmackDown now, but TK didn't want to let anybody else. But fucking what's his fucking name? I can't even. QT Marshall. That's who helps Tony book a QT Marshall.
Because despite how we felt, Cody, even if in his Cody verse was always interesting story, even if it failed, it was something new.
I don't know. Even if the whole Awesome Kong storyline, her and Brandy coming around cutting people's hair.
He had some. He tried something. I feel like TK was so safe.
The Brody Lee shit was a lot better than we gave it credit for at the time.
But my thing is about that tour is, at least he tried something. I feel like every time I watch,
but
we saw the dude. Book, he said,
up, though,
even though I chucked him out, Tori, like the tweet you sent me. Yeah. He literally called it.
He did. Brad, as soon as I saw it. But you want to know the most fucked up part? I'm glad you said that. I liked the match.
But you knew how it was going to end.
But think, if you'd have told me a couple months ago, hey, Tori, you're going to like an evil Uno versus John Mox, I still think the bleeding was overdone. At least we didn't see. It's crazy how the dude with the mask ended up being like, he didn't have to get the camera on him to freaking not cut himself in front of everybody. You know what I mean?
I want to make this point, though.
Shout out to Evil Uno, though. Put some respect on that man's name. We said he couldn't. I said I didn't think he could do shit without Stu Grayson. He proved me wrong.
One of my points I want to make is, when we talk about AEW, it's never the wrestlers. AEW talent is amazing.
All of them are good.
I just want y'all to make sure that.
Yeah. I still say, even though I sound like the ultimate hater, I'm like, get rid of the women's division, because there's so many good women right there that aren't getting used, that could get time. Because one thing we can say about WWE is they have a whole hell of a lot more TV time than AEW has, and they've got a whole more lot, just everything. And I mean, think about Britt Baker, DMD, and WWE. Thunder Rosa, even Tony Storm, low-key knows she wants to go back now that freaking Triple H is in charge. I don't know if Vince is back in charge, maybe not. But bruh, spray painting L, it's got to be better than spray painting L's on your ass to try and fucking Rikishi bitches in the face like that. What was the point of that spot? I was like, why are you spray painting her ass? What is the point?
Jay did say that TK is fumbling the bag with me.
Yeah. And she also she deleted that tweet real quick.
That's how I know it's real.
Yeah. I screenshotted it. No, I didn't screenshot it. Damn it.
I know that's how you know it's real though. Because if she kept it up,
it
might be a storyline to it, but she deleted it. So
yeah, she deleted that. TK was like, "Oh, we fumbling in the bag, huh? Looks like you trying to get that. You trying to be 52-1. I see. She gotta lose eventually. That bitch can't just keep on winning."
She even admitted the other day, "Hey, and it's time for me to fight top women like Britt
Bruh,
Baker." Like I haven't fought none of these.
Bro, how is Jade Cargill not double champ with 52-0? How has she not fought the women's world champion yet?
Her point is literally her point, which is a good one, was I'm 51-0 and I haven't fought none of the top women contenders.
That's crazy.
Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa, Saraya, Toni Storm, even
Ruby Soho. She didn't beat Ruby Soho.
Yeah, she beat Ruby Soho. I'm talking about the one that won the title. Who she fought that won the title.
And how are we having an AEW original storyline war between the girls if Jade Cargill, the only fucking damn near the only homegrown story that's been semi-decently booked? How is she not involved in this?
I said she should be involved in the storyline based on originals first.
Like, bruh.
I'm like, why is she not here? Why is she not on? Why is she not booked for Revolution?
And if you go back to a year ago when this show started, I hated Jade Cargill with a passion, but she's been the only thing that's been booked somewhat decently consistent. You know what to expect when Jade Cargill gets in the ring. She's gonna squash the bitch. It is what it is.
That's like WWE not booking Bianca for a big pay-per-view,
bruh.
Even though she didn't get booked for Elimination Chamber. I know somebody bring it up. But she was very prominent in that story.
Yeah, like we knew who the big, you know what I mean.
She came out with them. She came out with them legs. Shout out to Montez Ford.
And then
she's like, "Who's gonna take this belt from me?"
If Asuka doesn't take the belt off of Bianca, then Vince is back in control.
I am interested in it. I don't.
Because Asuka was a Triple H sign.
But Bianca kind of grew up under him. So.
Yeah, true that. But Bianca's reign's got to come to an end at some point too.
I wanted to end at WrestleMania because I think she had an amazing year run.
I don't want it to get stale, and I feel like it's coming towards that. I can only watch her skip down and twirl her ponytail. She has amazing matches no matter what. We know that. That's not an argument.
What if she? I'll open night 2 with her. Her and Asuka's open night 2, and I bet you. Let's see if she keep on living up to this Miss WrestleMania name, because she is 2-0. She is strong 2-0 in it.
She's put on amazing shows the last 2 WrestleMania.
And being Miss WrestleMania don't mean you have to win, because Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. He lost a lot. so
he also lost, like I said, him and Undertaker. Yeah. WrestleMania 25 is still the best wrestling match of all time, in my opinion, to this day.
So, like I said, she can still wrestle. She can still lose and be Miss WrestleMania. All she got to do is put on a performance of a lifetime. What she always does at WrestleMania, she shows up for this show. And I think if her and Asuka, on a technical wrestling level, I don't know. Asuka and Sasha is comparable in just wrestling.
Yeah. Asuka's so
I think she's a little better than Becky. She's a little better than Becky, but Becky got more character.
I can see some clashing in Bianca and freaking Asuka styles. I could also see if the main problem I could see there could be pacing. Like they might try to go too fast too soon, because they're both, once they get in the ring, they're both super high energy, and I just worry that maybe some of Asuka's combos could be lost in freaking trying to get off some of the bigger power moves we expect from Bianca Belair. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like there could be. But it could be, if they've got it worked out, it could be fucking pure magic.
My problem with it, who Bianca got left?
Bad.
Who Bianca got left?
There is no one else. She's beaten Bayley. She's beaten Becky. Charlotte's on SmackDown. And that's Rhea Ripley's thing right now. So I mean, there's not too much. What? We don't. Bianca's beat Carmella. She's beat every person that was in the
She beat the
elimination
regular
chamber.
version of Oscar, but this is a
Yeah,
different version. But,
yeah,
so.
this did. But she's beaten everyone that was in the elimination chamber to face her. She's already beaten once, at least, if not multiple times.
Vince
at this
made
point.
sure we knew she could pick up Piper Niven. He made sure every
He
week.
made
By the way,
sure we knew
championship
she
round.
could pick up Otis, nigga. She picked up Otis.
But
Remember?
championship, yeah,
She was with her and Bailey before Bailey got injured when they did the little fucking decathlon thing. Fucking, she carried Otis.
Oh, by the way, follow championship rounds. That's my guy. But yeah, even he said, like, why do y'all? I'm like, we saw Bianca pick up Piper Nivens every day, every week for like a 3-month straight up to WrestleMania. You remember that? Point every week she picked her up to her just to make a point. Vince like,
just look at she can pick up. Do it.
Like she did it last week, Vince. I don't think you remember, but she did it last week.
He's like, I can still leg press 1,000 pounds at my age. The roids might have allegedly fried Vince McMahon's brain during the 90s.
I don't know what's going on. Like, why is she picking her up every week? I
remember doing this show. It was such a wild time because you really didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was like, what are we doing here? There are no stories happening. This is just.
Hey, you remember for Royal Rumble, she fought Selena Carmella together like 40 times in a row.
I was about to say, handicap match every other week, triple threat, handicap, one then the other, gauntlet style. Fucking bruh.
I'm like, every week
what we see the hell?
We see the same match every week.
Bruh, do we have PTSD from fucking Vince in control of WWE?
Yes, that's why
that's crazy.
I need to.
Yeah, I was going to say that is why we can't go back to Vince controlled wrestling. Right there.
Yeah, but I think Bianca and Asuka gonna have a banger, and Bianca gets a chance. She gets a chance to prove she's Miss WrestleMania again. And if she prove it again, even if she loses, if she proves again, y'all haters can't say nothing about Bianca. Come on now.
Oh, but I didn't. But while we're, what do you think about this? So since we're gonna get Brock Lesnar and Omos, does that pretty much solidify that we're getting Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley?
I wouldn't mind Hurt Business versus some. I don't know. Maybe do Hurt Business versus
Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt. I don't know, but I know that that's basically what they set up because we knew Bray Wyatt was going to call out the winner, and then of course we thought Bobby was going to defend his honor and take on Brock, but then MVP comes out of nowhere and says no, Omos is going to handle that, so that frees Bobby up again. So it would lead me to believe that we're going to do something with Bray again then.
That's what I was thinking.
But I guess
he said whoever wins, and technically Bobby did win.
Well, I mean, Firefly Funhouse comes back tonight, so I'm sure if Bob Lashley's the next target, there'll be a mention of him on Firefly Funhouse.
He said whoever wins, and Bobby won, which would be a weird thing, but it's like he won by.
I mean, he won. It was disqualification, but but Bray didn't. Bray just said he was taking the winner. When have we ever known Bray Wyatt to? I don't think he cares how you win.
Yeah.
Look at what he did to. Hey, John Cena went to the Firefly Funhouse. We saw how that ended up. Amazingly, only good cinematic match besides the Undertaker's Boneyard match. But
to be honest, I probably prefer.
But Bray. This is the last chance of him Bray Wyatt. This is the last chance. Which one you prefer? Which one? Firefly Funhouse.
No, Brock versus Bobby for Bray. Which one would you prefer?
I think Bobby would be more interesting.
I do too. We know Bray. We know Brock regular matches is suplex, L5 kick out. Put him in the finishing move. He probably get put into it.
Put him through the table.
Yeah.
Charge. Let him dodge so I can charge through the barricade. So I still look tough because I ran him through the barricade, but it gives me a reason to lay down.
Bobby throw some steps and start screaming like a madman.
Yeah.
Finally, after 3 finishes, somebody win.
6 ref bumps. You got to take out the whole referee corps. Every referee that comes out's getting an F5. No, but I love Brock Lesnar.
Come on, we know big match. We know big.
Yeah, match. We know how Brock gets down.
Unless it's gonna be a random match because he does do well in like matches that don't require no rule. But in a regular match, he does the same thing.
Yeah,
We're not
but
gonna lie to him.
like I said, if this is just Vince, he's like, my one concession is we gotta have a giant match at WrestleMania. I need that. And they were like, all right, Brock versus Omos, we're gonna get it out the way. And
And
okay, if that's it, so
that's
be
what I'm
it.
saying.
So be it.
I
But
will
if
be
it gets to
okay.
be more than that,
I'm
which
gonna
is
be. I'm
very,
having a problem.
and that's a slippery slope, bruh. Giving Vince one thing. Remember, before he took over all the territories, it was just him. He was just trying to consolidate the tri-state area. Remember, he wasn't going to go out beyond the Northeast. Nigga monopolized
That,
wrestling for 30 years.
it depends on really selling because if you feel like because Nick Khan did say they expect to sell in 3 months. So
Yeah, but $9 billion is a lot of money.
and they did, but that same report did say people like they got
Yeah,
offers. so
I
they
believe
got.
it.
So I'm like, okay, so if they actually if he's selling, I think he just want to be a part of it, and I'm okay with it. That's if. Now, if he don't have no plans to sell, he just lying. Then we might have a
Yeah, if
problem.
he's just, I was gonna say, then like I said, there's a big problem.
Yeah, but I don't. I think, but according to everybody, it seems like he really want to sell it because he don't want. He basically like hate Triple H. Like y'all ain't gonna take this. Let's not pretend like she didn't quit because she like he don't want to give this to me. You there?
Yeah, I mean, but he was just constantly trying to barge back in.
And then
Like,
even
bruh,
that
you
Triple H
spent
that
he spent over $20 million of the company's money in hush money
yeah, I don't
over
think.
SA allegations.
And it does lead grievance to she left and then when he left she came back and then when he came back she left
She
again.
left again.
Like, I ain't dealing with my father right now. Not that I hate you, but we can't do work together. It's hard to do business with
That
your
nigga
family.
tried to book a storyline where he was her baby daddy, bro. Never forget. Vince is different.
What them old Vince images? You remember he used to always be in that room and looking like the devil, and it's always red. You remember that Vince Man evil? What that face that he always did? He was doing this for like months when he just sitting in his office. Here they go. Here the faces all the way.
Just Vince and Titan Tower looking ominous.
He always did this. He was like it was like a 3 month stretch where he just laughed in his office every time he did something evil.
That's before he always started his evil laugh.
Yeah, he had like he always have a dark room. He like Mr. Girl. I always be in a dark, weird room with some light on. That dude's just the most interesting dude on YouTube. If y'all ever want to see some weird dude on YouTube, look at Mr. Girl. That's the strangest man I've ever seen in my life. He's insane. I don't even think
like
it's a
I
character.
said, after that nigga co-signed Cuties, I was like, nah, son.
Yeah. But we had a great episode. Y'all know what to do. Like and subscribe.
Most definitely.
Don't take Wrestling Observer News too seriously.
Yeah, you can't let Uncle Dave and his cadre of goddamn wrestling misfits to try and shape the view of wrestling because that's super skewed. Like I said, there's stuff that's good on every side of wrestling. I can find something I like in almost every part of wrestling.
Shout out to Keith Lee for looking good and then not being used for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm just happy he lost some weight. And I mean, if he's gonna quit, Rogain's stock's gonna drop if that nigga's not dyeing his hair anymore. Because he's fully gray. He's fully gray, and that nigga was dyeing that shit deep black for a long time. So prayers to Rogaine. I know they're gonna need to get their money back up if Keith Lee's done paying for that shit.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Wrestling. I think wrestling an interesting place. We'll see. I'm looking to see what the ratings is for AEW next week without an announcement, unless Tony Khan just like, I have an announcement.
Yeah, let's say if he's like, oh shit, especially now that you know what I mean. AEW is responsible for 4 million viewers coming in on Wednesday, according to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I wonder how much WWE would be if you just did that little same lyric. Why somebody just turned the channel through it?
Yeah. I was gonna say if they flip through, it counts. If they flip through in like there's like a whole 6 to 8 hour window where you're not on TV where it still counts if they flip. Like we're just
WWE get 12 million.
Yeah, because it's basically they're saying for this 6 to 8 hour window we attributed all traffic to TNT to AEW Dynamite. How does that fucking work?
Listen, I'm telling you, SmackDown would be 15 million. Because how many people pass through Fox on a daily basis? It's insane. So well, I don't know how you just it just make it work. It just make it work. But Tori, what can they find you? Let me put the thing up here.
Afrocommy 765 on everything. You already know. Catch me casual conversations every Wednesday here at Just a Fan Wrestling every Friday. Y'all know the vibes. We're gonna talk about something crazy every time.
Casual conversation's been really fun. They always a good
Always
time.
fun.
So last week we talked about prison bays. And they were fine.
There's some bad bitches in the pen, yo. We can't even lie.
So go look at that. So go back and look at that episode. It was on Wednesday. A few episodes back. I think we only did 2 episodes since. So you could just go back and find.
3.
I don't even know if we did. Yeah, we did. It's 2 episodes back. So if you're in the upload section, go. We got all the sections mapped out. We did Bel Air yesterday, so it's in the Keep It 99 section. We got all the episodes on all of them, so just go check that out. If you're interested
you just
in
want
those
to see
shows,
everything, you can just go to the live section on the page and it'll just show you every.
Yeah, so and it's the third one, so it ain't even that far. We talked about prison bays. We talked about I don't forget what else we talked about. I talk about so much crap.
Yeah, it was a casual conversation.
Yeah, so go check that out. We'll be here every Friday at the same time, talking some wrestling and finna see what's on SmackDown right now. We appreciate you. Follow me. You see the social medias all below. Overall, you can follow Overall 99 Media, or you can follow any of us, and it leads you to everybody. I think. Well, I gotta add them to it, but I don't even be on the Overall 99 Media. I don't even know if I know that password. I need to actually use the Instagram. It has like 10. It had 10,000 people, probably 9,000 now because I don't be on it for a year. It didn't even load up my phone, so I need to go take care of it and add Tori and everybody on there. So y'all can go follow Overall 99 Media and lead you to all of them soon. Sometime this week, it will. We out. Hit the tip button right there. I'll give you 5 seconds. Take a snapshot. Go to it. Show us some love. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you don't know who we are, you soon you will. But until then, it's